early signs of perimenopause and what to look for. My name is Tracy Montgomery. I talk about all things menopause, midlife, and all the crap that goes with it. So, you'll have found me because you've maybe started experiencing different things happening, or you're of a certain age. So, perimenopause, what is it? So, we talk about menopause and, oh, I've hit menopause. So, what's this perimenopause? There are different stages to your menopausal journey. Perimenopause is the bit where those hormones start doing their shit show, basically. It is the hormonal shit show bit. It's the bit where all your symptoms start. And it's the bit where you're not too sure about what's happening. Now, the good news is that perimenopause is a phase. The thing that's difficult to get your head around is it's individual to you. Your symptoms are not going to be the same as your friends' and colleagues' symptoms, and the amount of time that you are in perimenopause is going to be unique to you as well. So this is where it gets confusing. Now, some of the perimenopausal symptoms can get confused with other conditions. So, the normal age range to start experiencing perimenopause is when we get into our 40s, post 40, mid 40s, and onwards. However, that's just an average. You can experience them earlier, you can experience them later. Now, what is happening? So basically, we as females are here to create more little people. And it gets to a certain stage where that is no longer viable. So our hormone profile starts to change because our childbearing ability is diminished. So those female hormones become no longer needed. So the estrogens, the progesterones aren't needed so much because we do not need to produce more little people. So their profile starts to diminish. And as that starts to diminish, our body and our brains have no idea what's going on, can't cope with it, and we start to experience symptoms. Now, those symptoms are again going to be unique to you. The amount of symptoms that you get, there are lots. The severity of your symptoms is going to be unique to you. Now, the thing about perimenopause is that those symptoms can be really mild, you don't notice, or they can be quite severe and debilitating, and they're going to be different for you than they are to anybody else. So, yes, I would agree that you need to discuss your symptoms with others because it makes you feel as if you're not the only woman in the world going through this. You're not. All women are going to go through this at some stage. All women's hormonal profiles are going to change at some stage. How that change happens and how it affects you is going to be unique to you, and that is the difficulty. Now, do not feel like you're this freak because your symptoms are way different to your best mates. None of us are. We're all different, we're all unique, and that is the important thing that you need to remember. So, some of the common symptoms that we start seeing as we head into perimenopause are our periods start to become irregular, they change, they're not their normal. We get the hot flashes over no reason whatsoever. There's changes to your sleep patterns. So you could find yourself waking up in the night. You could find yourself having difficulty sleeping. You get the night sweats. So these are more of your physical symptoms that can be happening. Now you need to bear in mind that some of these symptoms are not going to be physical. And some of them may stay with you when you get into postmenopause. It does not necessarily mean that just because you have gone through perimenopause, so the end of perimenopause is typically 12 months after you've had your last bleed. Then you're in postmenopause. You thought it was all over. You're in postmenopause until you leave. And you can still have some of those symptoms. Like I say, this journey is unique for all of us. Now, other things that we need to look out for are the emotional side, the anxiety side. So you could experience more mood swings. Things that you could cope with before, they trigger, you can't cope with. Your anxiety and self-confidence can change because those hormones that have been there to support you are doing one. They're disappearing off. And our brain can't cope with the fact that those hormones aren't there to help and support us. So therefore, our moods, how we feel about ourselves, our anxiety levels are going to change. So perimenopause can affect your daily routines. You might be feeling more fatigued because you haven't slept well, but fatigue can be a symptom within itself. So our daily routines and how we do things can start to be affected. We might feel that we can't do things. So we need to make sure that we are keeping our daily routines. We need to make sure that we are keeping our nutrition as balanced and as optimal as we can. We talk about that in other videos, the best foods to eat. And we need to make sure that we don't have to go through this on our own. You're not the only woman that's ever going to go through perimenopause. It happens to all of us. We're all going to go through perimenopause and on into postmenopause. That is something that all of us are going to experience. However, our journeys are going to be individual. They're not necessarily going to be the same as our friends, but we are going to have some commonality. We are going to have some symptoms. We are going to have certain things that the majority of us will have. If you're feeling like it's getting a little bit too much and you can't cope, then that's when you need to start looking for more help. Now, you can look for natural methods. As I said, we discussed some of those in other videos. Or if they're getting too severe, you may want to discuss with a healthcare professional and look at things like HRT. Now, HRT is not as it used to be. HRT is pretty safe for the majority of us. Your healthcare professional will go through your options with you. So, perimenopause, going to happen to all of us. Your symptoms are going to happen. They may be mild. They may be a lot more severe. We don't know how long they're going to last, unfortunately, and we can't say what's going to happen the other side either. Yeah, it's a bit of a complex one. The saving grace is we're all going to go through it. So I hope you found that useful. Come back and talk to me again. Drop a comment below and I will speak to you soon. My name's been Tracy Montgomery and I will talk to you again. Bye for now.